you ever wondered what your brain is actually doing right before you perform under high pressure? Like when Olympian Yuzuru Hanyu goes into his triple axel, getting to center ice to compete and perform in front of an arena of thousands, or giving high stakes presentations at work. What is really happening up here? As an athlete and competitive figure skater myself, I've always been obsessed with trying to figure that out. Why there were some days that I showed up to training and I was just so laser focused, and other days where I just felt so deeply unmotivated. Our brain controls everything, but it's still kind of a mystery. So for the next 30 days, I'm running a little experiment on myself. I will be tracking my brainwaves and see how certain things that I do can affect my performance. Hello friends of the internet. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Kathy and I'm a 26-year-old competitive figure skater living and training in New York City. I also exist on Instagram and TikTok if you like more skating and athlete life content, so you can find me those places as well. Over my years of being an athlete and training, I realized that what separates just good athletes from elite athletes is not just physical talent. It's mental resilience, it's mindset, it's their ability to lock in, especially when it counts the most. I wanted to find out, can I train my brain to perform better? I'm using a combination of EEG and FNIRS technology. So EEG is essentially what tracks your brain activity through tracking your brain waves. So think of it as essentially a measure of how efficiently your brain processes and does an activity. The FNIRS technology is what measures oxygenated blood flow to your prefrontal cortex, which essentially measures how much energy your brain is using for deep concentration activities or deep focus. Your brain requires more blood flow. Through the device called the Muse S Athena to measure my brainwave, brain activity, cognitive effort when I'm trying to concentrate and focus, and whatever my brain does when it goes to bed. That part I'm extra curious about. So I want to kindly thank Muse for being the sponsor of this video and for making this little experiment possible. So let's see how this works. This is what it comes like. Let's unbox this and see how we use it, and you connect it to like an app on your phone. I'm actually gonna grab my phone. Give me a hot second. You do want to make sure the sensors are sitting taut against your skin, so making sure I push my hair back, and this is what it looks like. I feel like this reminds me of something, but I just like cannot pinpoint it to save my life. Oh wait guys, this reminds me of the headbands that they wear in Naruto. Tell me I'm not wrong. So I'm gonna wear this headband for the next 30 days consistently when I go to bed, and also during my morning meditations to track any progress towards my just cognitive focus abilities and just my performance. Testing headband signal. It looks like it's working and it's picking up what my brain is doing. Wow, this is actually insane. This is kind of scary. I don't know if you guys can see my screen. I'm just like trying to show you guys, but this is my brainwaves as I'm speaking, and you can see my heart rate. This is kind of wild. I'm like shooketh. These are my brainwave frequencies. Each frequency is associated with a different state. Delta is deep, dreamless sleep, loss of bodily awareness, repair. Theta waves are creativity, insight, deep states, dreams, deep meditation, reduced consciousness. I'm gonna set the rest of this app up, and then I'm actually gonna do my very first morning meditation with this thing on, and we'll see what happens.
A few moments later.
It'll rain softer when your mind settles and your attention is stable and focused. And then it'll rain harder as your mind becomes more active, moving away from your breath and into thoughts.
Submit and see results. I got a score of 39% calm. Average people score 41% their first time. This is essentially what my stats say. They have this other module that is essentially training your brain strength, which I think will definitely be good for me and as I'm starting my competitive season. Figure skating takes an incredibly amount of mental strength. So this exercise, it sounds crazy, but it says my goal is to make the owl fly as far and fast as you can using only your mind. That's kind of crazy. I don't even know how this works, but let's see. Here on the right, this is the activity. I'm literally just making this owl move right now using my brain, which is pretty crazy. I unfortunately did not have the forethought to screen record this exact live session, but I'll pull up a screen recording of a comparative, which is actually one that I did very recently towards the tail end of my 30 days. In this screen recording, I actually hit one of my maximum mental strength scores. The first time I did this activity here, this was my score. I was like, oh my god, my score is so low. And it can feel a little frustrating at first, but definitely know that you can improve over time. Faster the owl flies, the more mentally locked in you are. If you lose focus, the owl will drop from the sky and stop flying. Modern technology, freaking insane. Okay, that was extremely interesting. I never done anything like that before. So we'll see how all of this mental training affects my skating over the next month or so. Today is just day one. I also wear a Whoop, guys, and it says my meditation has been processed. Wow, that's very interesting. It picked up that I was meditating with Muse. That's crazy. This is day one, and I'm just getting a baseline of how my brain is currently doing. We'll see how it goes. I'm kind of excited. Never tried something like this before. All right, so 30-day reveal. What did I learn? In the last 30 days, I meditated, I trained, I ate, I worked, I slept, repeat. I baseline did the same things I usually do, but just added in a lot more mental training and mental focus practices. And here are the results. Essentially, in Muse, there's a really interesting metric called brain health, which basically tracks your cognitive performance. And I was able to increase that from my baseline score of 43 to 54. So basically, it's a mental recovery score. So I looked into the things that would impact this score, and they were things like increased physical activity, increased incorporation of deep breathing exercises, biofeedback sessions, and brain training and stimulating exercises. The other thing that I picked up, which I probably already knew, but just the data helped me solidify it, is rest days matter, and it matters even more for your brain than it does for your body. And the craziest thing about this headband is that it also tracks your sleep. So when I wore it, it tracked everything from how still I was in bed to what side of the bed I slept more on, like the right side or the left side, which was absolutely crazy. And the best part was its ability to track how much time I spent in each kind of sleep cycle, so deep sleep versus REM and whatnot. Brain has different types of waves as it's going through the sleep cycle. So what I learned is that the key to good recovery is not necessarily the raw time that you spend sleeping and in bed, but actually the quality. And the quality here is really measured by how much your brain spends in deep sleep, which is picked up by delta waves. So I realized in some mornings when I didn't get enough time in that delta wave zone or enough deep sleep, I showed up in training just cognitively not there, and it became so much harder for me to focus on things, especially if there are difficult things that I'm still learning and still don't have like the muscle memory fully baked in. Like I could do some of the stuff that I can do, like that I've trained up years and years now that I can like do in my sleep, like my sit spin. But when I attempted harder things like thinking about my axle or practicing new difficult turns, that's when I feel like my brain was lacking that ability to focus and do something really hard. And I would oftentimes like pop jump and just I wouldn't mentally be able to fully lock in. And in a weird way, because I was tired and groggy, I felt more afraid to go into certain elements because I was just not super clear in the head. So I journaled and kept track of all of these things, and on nights that I did spend a significant or healthy amount of time in deep sleep zone and in the delta wave zone, the next morning my practice was a lot more mentally focused and efficient. I found it easier to get myself motivated to show up on time, to practice the hard elements, not just the easy elements, and more motivated and fearless about doing things that I knew I wasn't good at, which are activities that take more brain power and focus to get yourself to do because they're difficult and you're not used to them. So I found this whole idea of that when I am fully kind of mentally recovered, I feel a lot braver on the ice, and I feel like the fear of falling is something that as an adult competitive figure skater, it's something very different and unique because when you start as a kid, you don't have any sort of fear of falling because your brain is like not even developed yet because you're just like la-di-da-di-da. And since we're on this topic of mental performance, I actually have really exciting news to share with you guys. I will be launching soon a adult figure skating accelerator program that is specifically personalized to you and your training as an adult figure skater, because you and me both know that starting to skate at 3 versus 30 is significantly different. There needs to be different approaches in fostering success, because as adults with a fully functional brain, we have the luxury of overthinking and having to also not just learn things technically, but overcome the mental barrier of things like fear of falling and imposter syndrome. And also, can we just talk about how our bodies look so different that we need a different set of technique in order to promote proper technique and success. I am a grown woman and I cannot be jumping the same way a 5-year-old little girl is. Like, I hate to break it to you, but the physics are quite different. If you guys are interested in learning more about the program and when it launches, be the first to get notified by joining the free waitlist that I will link in the description down below, and be the first pinned comments in the comment section down below. By joining the free waitlist today, you guys will have exclusive access to get 20% off of the program when it launches, and be the first in having a guaranteed spot to be able to book a one-on-one call with me. And for the upcoming season, I will be only taking 10 students, so there will be only 10 spots available. So sign up to be the first to get notified about it. All right, that's my 1-minute spiel. Let's go back to talking about our brain. So all in all, the conclusion of this experiment and exercise is that you can indeed train your brain just like how you train your body to perform better and to tackle higher focus and more important tasks better. I am someone who typically does a lot of mental training already, but I mostly, unfortunately, do it when I'm in season to kind of prepare for competition and to combat against competition stressors. And usually in the summer and off season, I tend to kind of take a step back from doing so much mental training because I'm not gonna lie to you, it is additional effort, but from just running this experiment, I realized how important it is for me to continue to incorporate these practices regularly as part of just mental hygiene, and to do it not just in season, but in off season as well, because the mental aspect of high performing sports is so understated. The impact of that on your physical progress is immense. If you're interested in training your own brain and keeping yourself accountable to train not just physically but also mentally, I got you guys. As always, I will always try to give you guys any sort of discount code in anything that I try. You can use my link in the description down below and then type in the code Kathy in all caps to get 15% off any Muse headband. And again, if you're interested in hearing more about the exciting new adult figure skating accelerator program that I'm launching soon, the free waitlist link will just be in the description down below and also in the pinned comments in the comment section down below. Be the first to learn about a holistic approach that both incorporates physical technique on the ice and mental confidence off the ice. If you like more videos like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. It will mean the world to me. I spend a lot of time, heart, and effort to try to get as much information out to all of you guys and use myself as a point of experimentation. The goal of this community is to always share and help each other grow and learn and progress better and faster and learn things about our bodies so that we can do what we love to do for as long as we can. And exciting times as we're gearing towards the fall and winter season, which means figure skating is starting right back up again. I will be competing again, so definitely look out for more free tips videos, more skating videos, competition vlogs coming up soon. More to come, and till next time, bye guys.
Every night I try to love, but your heart is made of stone. All my tears, they fall like rain.